Citations on the Nights of Blue Table. My name is Sir Hantalot, and welcome to Autismas Day 17, which is also the finale of Masked Singer Recap. Alright, so last night we had a 2-hour episode, well actually 2 episodes, of The Masked Singer. I'm only going to recap the latter episode though, because the former was just a road to the finals episode. But there will be some features from that there will be bits and pieces of that episode in this recap, but that's about it. So yeah. So basically, last night was the finale of The Masked Singer Season 4. And it's between the top 3, which are Crocodile, Sun, and Mushroom. Oh yeah. Before we get to the recap, actually, I almost forgot. So here's day 17. Let's see what's in it. No way. Aww. How cute. My bad. Here we have Stuffle. Oh well. Never thought I'd see it. Well, then again, we have Mimikyu, so never mind, I can't say that. I was gonna say I never thought I'd see an Alolan Pokemon in the advent calendar, but then again, we got Mimikyu a couple days ago. But yeah, here's Stuffle. Alright, now that we've got the advent calendar out of the way, onwards to the recap of the finale of The Masked Singer. To kick off tonight, we had a final group performance of the top 3. To Christmas, Baby Please Come Home by Darlene Love. They didn't really show any clue packages there in the performance, but it was really good. And it basically showed it in episode 12, Road to the Finals. And they really didn't show any clue packages until the end of the episode. And basically, each performer had clue keys. Clues in the form, since it's the holidays, in the form of Santa's cookies, or cookies for Santa. For the clues, we had, for Mushroom, the number 5, and a cookie that looked like a 50. It looked like a 0 until you got a closer inspection. It's the solar system, not a 0. Not sure what that meant. Oh well. Then we showed, I think, Crocodile's clues, which was a black heart-shaped cookie and a blue heart-shaped cookie. And then the Sun had her face on it, had her mask in the cookie, but also next to a ton. Not a ton of something, just a ton, like 2,000 pound weight. Not quite sure what any of those mean. But anyway. And then finally we get to the finale. Kicking off the final episode, we had Crocodile. And his song was Open Arms by Journey. I'm going to be honest with you guys for something real quick. I feel like that performance was kind of Crocodile's weakest. I don't know, there's just something about it. There are many keys he hit that were definitely improv, but I just don't see it as a good or a great performance. I don't know, I'm kind of indifferent about it, honestly. But also, there was a gift given, but also they had another clue that was a gift for one of the 4 panelists. And Crocodile's gift was to Jenny McCarthy Wahlberg. And it was a plastic angel, like for a tree topper. There's a clue in there somewhere, I just know there is. Okay, but then they didn't give any answers for like who their final guesses should be, like who other guesses they would pick. They just showed like recapping all the guesses they made in the past. I won't go over them because there was like 7 or 8 for Crocodile. Then we get to the second performance of the night, the Mushroom. In his performance of I Wish by Stevie Wonder was honestly pretty good. I was honestly shook about that performance. It was honestly, I think it was one of Mushroom's best, but not necessarily the best. I don't know. And his gift, which is also a clue package, was to Nicole Scherzinger. And her gift was a carton of cookie dough ice cream. Not sure what that meant. And then to close off the night, we had the Sun. And her performance was of The Story by Brandi Carlile. Never heard of the song, but it was still a pretty good performance. Not one of her. I would say it was one of her best performances, but there's "'Cause I Love You" by Lizzo and "When the Party's Over" by Billie Eilish. And those performances were phenomenal, not gonna lie. And her gift was to Robin Thicke. It looked like holiday garland, but it was a bunch of holiday garland that looked like mistletoe. I don't know why. Anyway. And then, to end off the night, we had the hardest half hour I've ever seen. The eliminations. So basically the panelists, the audience, and the at-home voters had to decide who would win the golden mask. In third place, the mask in third place was the Crocodile. So yeah, Crocodile got third place. But the question remains: who is Crocodile? Before we get to the runner-up and the winner of the Masked Singer Season 4, let's go over what the judges had to say about their first impression guesses and their final guesses. Basically, they were a little all over the place. For Ken, he guessed Bradley Cooper. Okay. But then he changed it to Nick Lachey, which was actually Nicole's first impression guess. But then she changed hers to Jordan Knight, which was actually Robin's first impression guess. But he decided to change it to Howie D. I don't know who that is. But then Jenny, who did not guess Howie D, stuck with her first impression guess, who was Nick Carter of the Backstreet Boys. Who is the identity of Crocodile? One of the judges got it right. Nick Carter of the Backstreet Boys. Now, my mom and my sisters actually knew who Crocodile would be towards like round 2. Actually, halfway through the competition, they knew it was Nick Carter. I just didn't want to know because of spoilers. But a lot of people knew Crocodile was Nick Carter because in his second clue package, a lot of people really dug deep for that second clue package because the story of Crocodile giving his father the $100 he got in a paycheck was actually in a book Nick Carter wrote. It was in his autobiography. Or some book of his. But yeah. A lot of people knew that based on that giant spoiler. It was in a book he wrote, apparently. But yep. Crocodile was Nick Carter. Now for the toughest part of the night. Who would win the golden trophy? The golden mask, sorry. In runner-up, we had Mushroom. So yeah, Mushroom got runner-up, which means the Sun won the Masked Singer Golden Mask. Now, before we get to the Sun and who her identity was, let's head back to Mushroom real quick. Now, in his with the judges, in first impression and final guesses for him. For Robin Thicke, his first impression guess was, I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name, Haley Port or something. I don't remember his name. I just guessed on the name. I couldn't pronounce it. Couldn't understand what Nick was saying. But in the end, Robin guessed Aloe Black. And then Jenny McCarthy-Wahlberg guessed, her first impression guess was Maxwell, which was obviously not, because that was the first song that Mushroom performed by Maxwell. Excuse me. But she changed it to Neo, which is honestly a good guess because the ice cream clue kind of gave it to her because of Neapolitan, but it wasn't Neapolitan, it was cookie dough. Ken guessed his first impression guess was Justin Timberlake, but he changed it to my post-show guessing. My post-show guess, Pharrell Williams. And then Nicole Scherzinger, her first impression guess was Donald Glover, but she changed it to Aloe Black. The true identity of the Mushroom was Aloe Black. I was so convinced it was Pharrell Williams because there was his voice sounded like the voice in the first clue the voice sounded like him, and the giant hat in the clue package, first one, I thought it was Pharrell. Man, so pissed about that. Oh well. And finally, the final unmasking for a winner, the Sun. The judges' guesses were pretty much all over the place. Jenny's guess, I think Jenny was first. She guessed her first impression. Oh, by the way, speaking of Jenny, she basically won the Golden Ear for having the most first impression guesses correct, with a whopping 4 out of 16. And then Robin and Nicole were tied for second with 2, and Ken with 0. A goose egg. Nada. You see how good he is at first impression guesses. I mean, he is the guy who guessed Patti LaBelle, who thought Patti LaBelle was Bjork. Anyway, back to the Sun. Anyway, so Jenny's first impression guess for the Sun was Demi Lovato, but then she changed it to Leanne Rimes. Ken's first impression guess was Gwyneth Paltrow, but he changed it to Mandy Moore. Nicole's first impression guess, Katharine McPhee, but she changed it to also Leanne Rimes. And then Robin, his first impression guess was actually a pretty good first impression guess, Natasha Bedingfield, but I knew it wasn't it because I know it had Natasha Bedingfield's voice. But he changed his to Nicole's first impression guess, Katharine McPhee. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. Who is the identity of the Sun? Our winner of Season 4. Ladies and gentlemen, the identity of the Sun is Leanne Rimes. So yeah, it wasn't a cheetah girl. Turns out that cheetah in the first clue package was a jaguar. And apparently it was based on her on something she wrote called Jag. I don't know. I mean, Ken was on the right track apparently at the first clue package. But the one question, but there's still one thing I want to know. What did Mickey Mouse have to do with her clue package? That's what really threw me off. Was the Mickey Mouse ears, and what convinced me to thinking it was Sabrina Bryan or Keely Williams. mostly Sabrina Bryan. For those who know the answer to that Mickey Mouse ears clue package, let me know in the comments below. But with that being said, that is the end of The Masked Singer Season 4. And the end of our official Masked Singer recap. I really hope you guys enjoyed this little series I did. I've never worked on anything so hard in my life. Like, the amount of papers I wrote down for this series, and the amount of times I had to re-watch this show every episode just to make sure I got the facts right. It blows my mind how determined I was, honestly. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, drop a like you're dropping the bass. Wow, wow. And give the subscribing the smizzy smack. And I'll see you fella knights in the next video. Dudes. Now the fun part. Erasing this whiteboard.